Hi, I'm Foronda.
Hi, I'm Angel. I'm an artist.
I am currently teaching English to Japanese students.
Hi, I'm Alma.
My name is Niccolo. I'm a photographer.
I'm a journalist.
And I'm a vegetarian.
And occasional poet.
Hi, I'm Kim.
I am godless, atheist, free thinker.
My name is Vince.
I'm involved in lay pastoral ministry.
I'm a poet and a critic.
I do believe that an excess in everything is not a good thing.
Because gravity.
I like reading books and I love philosophy.
And I'm a unicorn.
As long as I'm cute, I'm okay with that.
Other than that,
Very interested in hearing people's story.
I have no other labels or identifiers for myself, so I don't know.
I believe in truth, at least I will when I find it.
Maybe I'm just me.
Hello and welcome to Principles of Principle. I'm Alma and we're going to begin our discussion on work.
Work.
Yeah, that four-letter word that gives you income. So
Yay! Energy.
energy, actually, you know, all your fun is powered by work and all your education leads to work, or so it's supposed to be. I think we should start by talking about what we do for a living. Let's start with Kim.
Now, well, frankly, I don't have that work that earns a living, but I do something in life that more or less, I would say, is my passion of doing things. But I earn a little, but not really sufficient. But it's really where my heart is right now. But before, for some of my life, I used to be in sales.
Okay, so what do you do now for work? That is your passion.
In lay pastoral ministry.
It's a passion for ministry, yes. And you?
I'm an artist.
You're an artist.
Like I wasn't sure about that. I'm a photographer.
Alright.
So that's what I do.
So is it work? Is it fun? Is it...
It is work. It is fun, and it's not fun sometimes.
Not fun
when
sometimes.
I overwork. Yeah, so I do a lot of projects on the side that's more on the passion side, and I do stuff that are more on the work side.
So you do the commercial thing to feed your soul.
Right.
Alright. Me, what do you do for work?
To put it simply, I'm in the Japanese company, so well they expect me to teach English to Japanese students, but mainly I train online. I train our local teachers. Most of them are home based, so we Skype mostly, and then we teach them how to teach the Japanese speak English. But there's a kind of geisha aspect to it.
I like that geisha aspect.
Because the Japanese expect you to be very pleasant. They are really very detailed on the aesthetics. So when you actually present yourself, it's not like you're teaching the Koreans or the Chinese. It's like, hi, hello, good afternoon. You have to be very, very pleasant. So that's how we actually train our teachers to be very pleasant in teaching English. It's not like, verb! It's not like that.
You can't be the strict, dominatrix kind of teacher.
Yeah, you can't.
No.
You can't. So that's basically what I do now.
Angel?
I'm an artist, which means I know a lot of things. So I have 15 years background in production, but
This is TV prod.
TV production. I started off as a singer actually, and then got into production.
Wow.
But right now I'm really focusing on my talents as a host. So, which means it's a hustle every day, people.
It's a hustle every day. I know we were talking about
You
that.
know what I
earlier.
mean?
Yes. So what do you do to put bread on your table?
Well, I just started with a new job.
Which is?
I work as a copywriter.
For
For some...
an agency?
No, it's not an agency. It's a startup.
It's a startup.
In the past, I've worked as a call center agent. I've worked on the construction side. I've worked as a janitor before.
No way, really.
I've also
Interesting.
then I coupled that with writing papers and thesis and dissertations for people on a freelance basis. So I do that manual job.
Well, hey, writing is manual labor. You use your hands to write.
Yeah.
All right. Someone once told me, so I'm a writer, I'm a journalist, and they said, at least you're not doing manual labor. And I just looked at them and said, and what pray tell do I use to write?
But you told me you use something else.
Well, that too. I mean, my hands are very talented. They cook, they write, they give pleasure. But the thing with work is a lot of people tend to think work is about doing things you may not necessarily like. As a journalist, I've had to interview people I didn't like and keep a smile pinned on my face. But you see, it also fuels the part of journalism that I do like, which is getting a really good story, breaking it down really, really well, and presenting it in a way that my audience really understands. And it gives me enough money to survive long enough to write my next poem. You know, and then to write my erotica. Yes, I do that too.
Yeah.
So,
Against the ear.
yeah, that's the ears. It's very cosplay. Okay, but for me, work was almost always about passion. I would never choose a job that I couldn't feel a passion for. I taught for 7 years, and I had a passion for that, especially since I taught gifted students who were a challenge. I mean, I had students who set the classroom on fire every now and then. So, but they were highly intelligent kids. So what is it about work that makes it work? I mean, both in a good way, which is, you know, you get something done, and in a bad way where getting something done has so many obstacles, mostly psychological and for you.
Well, for one, depends on if you walk off the right side of bed, you know, and you're facing good things. But there's also times that when you feel low, and you have to do the job, you have to do it.
You have to do it anyway.
But you have to put there yourself to be present, no? So that it could give that satisfactory in your part that you're doing something, even though you may not like it, but there's a sense of you owe it to yourself to do it right. That's something you may not like it, but you have to do it, right? You have to satisfy some people. That's the challenge.
Angel?
I don't know. I just feel like work is relative, right? There's the work you have to do because you need to feed people, and then there's the work that you want to do because you want to feel fulfilled, right? So I think it depends on where you're at the moment. Because I've had jobs where I knew I needed a paycheck, and then I've had the jobs where it's like, oh hell no, I'm not doing a 9 to 5. I want to fulfill my soul. You know what I mean? So I think work is relative to where you're at the moment. Do you need that paycheck, or are you hungry to feed your soul?
What need
Right.
over
What's the
heavier
need
that
at the
point?
moment? Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's how.
So it's a balancing act.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're artists, and there's some jobs we have to take that we don't like, but we know that paycheck's good, you know? And then there's the jobs where, like, I don't care about the paycheck, but I feel it's a great project. You know what I mean? But
it's some kind of luxury to actually choose.
To be able to have the choice.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
like
I don't
when you
know.
said like you cannot actually take the 9 to 5. And I wish I could actually say that.
But you know what? You can though. No. You can though, because the thing is with being an artist, I'm scared every day. Like I don't know. When you're an artist, you're unemployed till your next job.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
that's
When
true.
you're in a 9 to 5, you know every 15th and 1st
You're going to get money.
You're gonna get money.
Paycheck.
So it's not even about if you can or can't. We can all do whatever we want. Do you have that desire to be in that state of like you're constant hustling for that job? And there was a time when I didn't feel like hustling. Yeah, I'll take that 9 to 5.
I've never
you know what I mean?
experienced a 9 to 5
Yeah.
job ever.
Yeah.
Wow,
In my-
congratulations.
Hallelujah.
Really?
No, but sometimes
Yeah.
I do feel like
Yeah.
maybe it's better if I actually
Yeah.
am working in a 9 to 5, then I don't have to worry about the next day or
Yeah.
the following. You know what I mean? But that's how my life is.
I could compare because it's been 2 years since I had a proper 9 to 5 job.
Right.
Because
But you only
Mostly
started
do-
working recently,
Yeah.
right?
When did you start working, by the way?
2 weeks ago.
What was your first job and at what age?
My first job was when I was 17.
What was it?
I was a research assistant.
Where?
My alma mater.
Can we talk about our first work?
Okay.
Our
let's
first
do
job.
it.
Oh,
Let's do it.
Your first
Hello, capitalism.
sex work.
Well, yeah, but my first one was because I was sheltered, so I didn't know what work was.
Right.
So I just I want to experience it, what it's like. So I took shakies.
Oh, shaky.
Wow.
Yeah, because I thought I want to collect uniforms, and I did.
Oh.
Wow, okay.
Okay.
Congratulations.
So I can actually say what not to actually order in it.
Okay, you have to tell us later.
Mushroom.
No, it's all good.
Okay. Mushrooms.
I used to deliver letters. Messenger boys. I was a bank messenger. I was delivering letters to it could be
So this is your first job.
It could be bicycle.
My dream job is to be a bicycle messenger.
Wow.
Wait,
Wait,
what
what
is
is that company now?
Cartero.
They have a company
Yes.
now, right?
Ah.
The Paychecks ones?
Pedala.
Pedala.
Yeah, I tried that before. I mean,
Yeah.
to their service. So what was your first job?
Well, technically, I've never really had a real 9 to 5, but the thought of it makes me want to cry.
You're right.
So
I mean, just your first job.
yeah, my first job was at my mom's. My mother had a law office, and that was 9 to 5. But technically, we didn't treat it like a 9 to 5. I showed up when I felt like it.
Oh,
It was not,
good for you.
Yeah, it was
Good
not
for you.
conventional. It was just terrible. So
Can we swap
technically,
moms?
no, she had a bad side to her. No. Technically, I started working at like 13 because I was always at my mom's
Wow.
office. So my first job outside of my mom's twisted job was
Someone's
being,
knocking on the door. Just let you.
someone's knocking at the door.
They're saying delivery.
Okay, so my
Someone's working.
first real job outside of like my mom was I was a hostess at a restaurant. So I was like
And
sitting
how
in-
young
but
were you?
I was 16. But the thing is, I would spend all my money at the restaurant because the food was so
no.
good. So it was pretty useless. It was pretty useless. The food was really good. So.
Yours.
My mom had a meat business, Tapa Tocino Langganisa. She supplied all the 5-star hotels in Metro Manila.
Oh.
And I was about 7 years old. I was the kid who did the knife sharpening and
Knife sharpening?
mincing huge hanks of meat, about 10 kilo hanks of meat,
Wow.
into minced meat that would go into the langganisa or slicing them thin for tapa. So
Chopping
I
meat sounds so
at
like you.
7 and deboning chickens.
Okay.
They've only chickens, huh? Yeah.
So I have had a love for knives
Yeah,
since then.
hacking things
Oh.
with knives.
Although
sounds
I
like
don't
you.
think my mom paid me. I think she paid me in langganisa.
For
I was happy
dinner.
enough to do that.
For dinner.
And then my dad had a PR company, and my first writing job, I remember this, was when he made me sit down to proofread one of his writer's pieces, and I found it full of errors, and I said, this person can't write. And he goes, you're 13, can you do better? I go, shrug, sit down. 15 minutes later, there's a copy, and he goes, good, that person's fired and you're doing his job.
Wow.
And he paid me something like 5 pesos per page.
Wow.
That was a lot of money then
That was a
because it
lot.
was
That's a lot of
yeah,
money.
you could get a book sale book.
This is in
really nice hardbound book
1945.
sale book. Yeah, this was in 1983. So or 1984. So there thereabouts.
Yeah,
And,
that's
you could get 2 book sale books that were paperback or 1 hardbound book sale book for 5 pesos. For 5 pesos.
Now
So
it's
that
like
was
500. Yeah.
I lived for books.
Okay.
So that was what I did. My first actual paying job was with Manila Standard as a reporter. And they threw me in the deep end and sent me to cover a murder with the body still in the crime scene.
Wow.
So yeah,
That's
that
a
was...
langgonisa.
Yeah, people were wondering why I wasn't freaked out with that. I chopped the
It's
meat!
fine. It's fine.
I brought the pork, the pig intestine.
No,
Stop it.
I actually managed to make the older reporters throw up because we got there and the body was pretty much a mess. Somebody decided to, split the body open from belly to brisket. So that's from the inguinal area all the way up to the throat.
Seriously, you
And
cut that?
seriously, and there were innards everywhere, and everybody was like, and I look at it and I go, that looks like Boppies over there. What part of the body's that? And there were 2 senior reporters who just went green and ran to the back of the house and threw up. And I was like, I can get the scoop by making them run away in disgust. So, lesson number 1. When you learn how to chop meat as a young kid, dead bodies are not a problem.
Oh, yeah, because it's a familiar sight, no?
So it was funny.
There's a smell to dead bodies.
There is a
smell
smell
to meat.
But the NBI people, their forensics people, kind of taught me something. There's another purpose to the Vicks rub. You rub it on the inside of your nostrils.
Yeah.
You really rub
So
it
you don't
to kill
smell.
your
So you only
to
smell
kill
Vicks.
your sense of smell for at least 2
Right.
hours. It's good for 2 hours.
Alright.
Oh.
My
So,
first
you
job
can do
was
that.
a cashier at an internet cafe
Wow!
in 1997.
7?
Nice.
I mean,
God,
during
that
the
was
time
the
when
coolest
internet
job.
was
It's
new.
just new, just very
Yeah.
new. Just very new.
When
That
you
was
still,
my-
when you still went to Angel Fire to find good stories, right?
Right.
Angel Cities.
So that was my cousin's internet cafe across the school. So he said, hey, if you have extra time, I need extra help. And I said, sure. So all I did was, facilitate printing and then facilitate logins and logouts, and then I was in the cashier
Wow,
getting
that was so
payments.
cool.
So everybody thought that was actually my internet cafe. And I do a little bit of troubleshooting when I had to ping when the internet was kind of slow. I remember the dial-up
In the days before speedtest.net.
Right.
Binging, yeah.
And I think I earned around 700 pesos per every payday.
Not bad.
Not bad
Yeah.
because
Then yes, that's really good.
that was good.
So, what would your dream job be? All this experience taken into consideration, what work would you love to do your IT for?
Where I do absolutely nothing and make money.
You want to be an investor.
Pretty much.
That's the best.
Go to Wall Street.
I think I was already able to do what I really wanted to do.
Teach English?
No, not that. The passion side of the business.
Yeah, the passion side.
The passion side. I was in production, wardrobe for that movie Maximo Oliveros.
Wow.
So I wanted to do it again. So that was the one that I set
This is
aside.
ang pagdadalaga ni Maximo Oliveros.
So we did the wardrobe for that production of that one. And so if I'm going to think about the passion side, because of course you don't get paid for indie, right?
Yeah.
So if I would like to go do that again, more on the craft side. That is what I do. So mostly. And then this is the day job. This is the killer one. I know how you feel. And I'm in it right now. So yes.
All right, Kim?
Probably if I could
Product design.
teach or share what I know about
A teaching job. I
Teaching
mean,
job. It's not really a
formal
teaching job
teaching
at a
job?
classroom, but more of teaching them about something about what I really like to do, which is about the faith, because I know there are a lot of people have been so frustrated, so much discussed, but I like to give it in a new way that is more interesting for people to listen about faith, because
so you want to give people a more personal look at faith?
it's more of a something for them to experience out of the talk, that they can experience that there is this God that's really present. That's something that not on the categorical books or whatever, but something to experience. For me, that's something for me to. That's my passion.
That's your passion. Nico, your dream job.
Aren't you doing it right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I?
But okay, if you're doing it right now, are you there yet at that pinnacle?
Or you there,
I'm slowly working on it. I don't want to get into details, but maybe for the past 3 years, it's. I think I'm getting there. So all I need to do now is get more luck, and maybe work harder to achieve that. And I just really want to be a full-time artist.
Yeah.
Not having to be a prostitute for.
I know.
The man.
Commercial. The commercial side.
That's the commercial side of it. Because That's where I get my money from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't that amazing when you just have to create art
Oh,
and just
yeah.
make more
Yeah.
money out of it?
Yes.
So, last 2 years ago, I was lucky enough to be represented by a gallery in New York. So I think that's one big step. So I still need to push that a little bit more farther. Now I get pressured because they're expecting something new. I mean, it's great, challenge is great, but that's basically my dream
Vince?
work.
Me, I dream of, aside from being a bike messenger, I'd like to
I
be
mean, really, what would be the
be
pinnacle of the experience of work?
What is your
I'd like to
dream
be
job?
a professor someday.
Professor?
Wow. Have you ever taught in school?
Professor.
Yeah.
Well, I've taught informally to children.
But that's different. I just want to share
Yeah,
before
academic
you go.
teaching's a different
Did you? Have you?
animal. I taught for 7 years in
I don't-
I hated it.
I loved it, but I couldn't stand talking
I
to
don't
the
have-
admins.
I don't have a degree yet, so
Right.
it's quite blurry. But it's part of my politics against the political economy of the academe and substitutes.
Yeah, but if you want
I'm
to
curious.
become a professor, you will have to swim that
Yeah.
nasty
I'm curious.
road.
Have you?
That's true.
Have you
Have
been a
you
good student?
I'm a pretty bad student.
Why would you want to be a professor? Because that was my fear. Because I was a horrible.
I'd like
torture the best.
I'd like to.
The worst students can actually make pretty good teachers.
I know, but aren't you scared of karma?
No, I'd like my students to go to class.
Yeah, but we're gonna discuss that in the next episode. So let's skip the school thing first. But for me, I'm living my dream. I didn't want to vary anywhere. I decided I'd be a journalist at the age of 8. And I trained myself. I joined the school paper as soon as the next day. If it was a Wednesday when I decided I wanted to be a journalist, on Thursday I signed up for the school paper. And I have been training myself for that ever since. Because I love poetry, I love literary writing, but yeah, I'm a realist. I'm realist enough to know that that's not going to pay my salary in the Philippines.
That's what
But-
I also
but-
thought.
As a journalist, I would at least make enough to, feed myself 3 times a day. And I chose to follow that dream. And about 7 years ago, I hit that point where I actually exceeded my dream of being a reporter. And I need a dream to follow. I need a star to follow. So I said, okay, I'm already an editor, so I'm gonna have to set a new goal, which is by the time I turn 60, I should be a media mogul. So I am building towards that goal now.
Yeah.
All right. I believe that your goals change as your life moves forward, and work is part of that dynamic.
Yeah.
But I also chose a publication where I'm given the best level of editorial freedom and trust from the owner that I have ever had in 20 years as a journalist. With the Philippines Graphic Magazine, pardon the plug, but I have to mention the publication. We are not told by the owners what to publish and what not to publish. In fact, our owner comes down and he says, I think I may have a story for you. Do you think this has merit? I look at the guy who signs my paycheck and I say, may I read that over? He gives me that freedom. And even if, sometimes you have to hit people in the press when they're not doing right and they're doing the public a disservice. And sometimes we do call bullshit, pardon me, on the actions or the words of some of the people who are friends of our owner and our publisher. And you know what? We're given the freedom to do that too. So when these people go to our owner or our publisher and complain to them, they go, you know what? The people of the graphic always have documentary basis for what they say or what they write. So, and they showed it to us. And we agree with them. And if you have a problem with that, our friendship isn't part of that. And they're very good at that, maintaining friendships even if we in the graphic hit their friends. And they said, and look, they're not hitting you as if you were demons. They're telling you where you went wrong.
Yeah.
And where you can correct your mistake. There is nothing bad about what our editorial team does. And if we have to choose between our editorial team and you, I don't think you want us to be making that choice, not really. They back us fully. We have a
Good.
full legal department
It's good, no?
at our backs, which is not something you can say for most other publications. And I'm very grateful for that. So what is it that makes work for you in that sense? What makes a job difficult for you?
I think as an artist, the best part is when I know that my talent is being utilized for something, like that it came from me. You know, I created this, or no one else can do what I do because I'm the only one there is, right? We're all unique and different. What I really don't like is when the value people put on artists. I'm just speaking as an artist, right? They feel like because there's nothing tangible in a sense of because it came from my
is not
mind, it came
difficult.
from me,
Yeah.
it's easy to do, therefore the value of money should not be as grand. But in reality, you couldn't come up with it, therefore you should pay me more.
Yeah, this reminds me
because
of
you
people
know
who come to go to writers and say, "Can you write this for me for
Yeah.
this much?" And the writer goes, "That's too low a fee." And they
Yeah.
go, "But it's just writing."
then you do it.
And you know what the
Yeah.
answer is? Yeah, do it yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you coming to me if you want to save money?
The challenge, like what I get frustrated in, is like I know my worth, I know my talent, and I know that there's only one me. But the value people put on that, it sucks sometimes, especially when they're
Sometimes
not
people
art.
think talent is cheap.
Yeah.
No, sometimes people want a Mercedes Benz for the price of a Kia Pride.
Yeah.
A 1992 Kia Pride.
Dilapidated 1992.
Yeah, the one with the problem on the brakes.
Yeah, the door's falling off.
So you don't want to be doing this sort of thing. But okay, let's start with giving people some empowering advice, especially people who are going to be working for the first time.
Yeah.
What advice would you give these people with regard to work, with regard to balancing the interests of the public they have to serve in whatever job they do, and their own interests, their own growth as human beings?
I would just like to
Last 5
say
minutes.
that I think we're all lucky to be doing what we love to do.
Yeah.
It might be working for us, but I think it's our business to make it work for them.
To help them make it work for them.
Yeah, we need to do something to
That's a
make
way
it work
of
for them.
try to check your privilege over.
Right.
Check your privilege.
Yeah.
Manage your expectations, check your privilege.
Check.
Yeah,
Yes.
great.
Also give your best, no? I mean, you have to really find yourself doing it, learning from it, trying to see what's your craft out of it, because out of there you create your passion. Because
Yes.
in the same job, you can do it like a manual without any
Manual labor.
but if you put yourself there, no, you can put life in there.
Yes.
And this is something that we have to share to people, because a lot of people do things just because they're just paid, no? But they don't put life in it. No? But we have to put ourselves there so that they spell a difference from what you do.
I think what you're trying to say is to try to create the value out of your work
Yeah.
by recognizing how dignified it is to work
Yes.
from day to day,
Yeah.
not just to earn but to do something in your life which you know
Honorable to you.
would be helpful or would be of benefit to the greater number of people.
Yeah, because my job, maybe this would be small, but it would be good to see that it contributes something, no? to humanity, to people. No? When you have that, it will inspire you, and hopefully people will already inspired with what you're doing.
I think the people in our country struggle with that one, especially the ones who are actually like, let's take people who are drivers for big jeepney drivers. With all the pollution they get,
Yeah.
you know, they cannot actually focus on like, bayan, and then para, all at the same time it's happening, and then they have to drive, they have to look at the, stop sign and everything, look at everything. They cannot actually put in that kind of devotion or like focus anymore. They're like they're easily, of course, on the edge all the time. And how the traffic goes in our country,
Yeah.
that is really wild out there.
Yet it is what we need. Without jeepney drivers, we wouldn't have
Yeah.
mass transport.
Yes, that's
we
so
would have
true.
so much of a problem economically.
I have friends like selling newspapers, cigarette, and everything. They can put something, no? I mean, with their smile.
Oh
They
God.
can, because I think these are people who have to run because when they rain, they have to. But I think it's the way their attitude of trying to be with people. I mean, they put value to what they're doing, no? So that more or less.
That is a struggle in a third world.
It's a struggle, yeah.
Value
but I think it's something
in what
good
you
that
do.
we try to practice it because we have to put value not only for what we're earning, but to a person.
Also because it is work and it serves other people. You don't work in a vacuum.
Yes.
But for me, it's a case of, you know what? One is yes, do your best. Two is, no matter how big or small your job is, it always involves touching other people's lives, even if it's just one person, or if it's a whole nation of people, or half the globe, or the entire globe. You must always be conscious that what you do is touching other people, is affecting their lives, and there's your mindfulness, where am I giving them my best, or am I not giving them my best? If I'm not giving them my best, maybe I need a break, then I need to come back to this.
One time I was remember I was with my daughter, no? We were here in Makati. Then there was somebody, a couple who talked to me. Who was that? And that was my client way back in the province. That was 10 years ago. Yeah, but they recognize me. They want to be my friends because that's what I try to do in selling. No, I try to give my best. So it's beyond selling.
Yes,
it's really a person to person because that's what I
personal.
You're dealing with human beings.
Yes.
All right. Last word. One sentence about work. And we're
give
done.
your best.
Can we do a German sentence?
No, we need to do it in English. So
I mean,
you
a
should
very
translate.
lengthy sentence.
Of he listen? No. I think start with Angel.
With work. God. I don't know. I just don't believe there's a such thing as there's no choice. There's a choice in everything. There's a choice to do something begrudgingly or a choice to do it joyfully in whatever work there is. So
Correct.
I think there's no such thing as no choice.
Beautiful. Me?
In terms of choice, I think people who are subjected to prostitution mainly don't have a choice. The ones who are actually taken from their families
Don't have a choice.
don't have a choice. At the age of as young as 12, they were taken as slaves. They don't have a choice, and that's work. They don't get paid. That's work. They get only paid for food. Now, those are the people who don't have a choice. We are so lucky. So what I say is mostly work is slavery.
All right. Vince?
Well, I think there are two things to work which I can reflect on based on my experience with it now. It's one is complicity and the other is resistance. Complicity with what you do just so that you could make a living out of it and try to survive in the global capitalist enterprise. But then you also have to remember that you're human individual, and because you work, you're dignified by what you do. Not just because you did not choose to slack off and be a bum your whole life, smoke whatever, or which I did fast. There's also a kind of resistance whenever you're aware, and you conscientiously try to know how your work is privileged and not complain about what you do, but instead direct those complaints against the institutions and the conditions that provide the gross inequality and the gross injustices that happen to laborers around the world. You have to be one with other people and try to see your small experiences in the light of all how it fits in the bigger picture of life.
Stick it to the bone.
Well, if you end up in a job or find yourself working for something that you're not really hoping to or have aspired to actually be doing, then I don't think that you should stop aspiring. I think aspiration is very important. And maybe if you haven't achieved your dream yet doesn't mean that you should let others suffer as well.
Yeah.
I think you can always find ways to make other people achieve their dreams while you're waiting for yours.
While you're waiting or you're working towards your dream.
That's right.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing bad about good, hard work that makes you sweat. I think that it is a very good thing. But a lot of people keep forgetting that your job puts you in touch with other people, and that is where your power is. You have the power to make someone's day great, even if you're just serving a McDonald's Happy Meal. You have the power to make someone's day miserable, especially if you're a senator of the realm. You see, your power is not about the position. It's about the fact that you come in contact with another human being or more than one human being in the course of your day. And thus, you can bless them or curse them as you go. Alright. And that wraps up this episode of Principles of Principle. I'm Alma Anonas-Carpio. And
That's it.
that's a wrap.